Now, let me tell you one of the secrets of this work, and that is that you are developing not a friendly relationship with this child, not at all, but a trusting one. The child knows that, first of all, you mean what you say, and you're going to stay there until there's compliance. And second of all, that you will not give them anything to do that you don't think they can do, that you don't know they can do. So the task increments are very small.
And once you finish, let's say you want to do 5 things, or whatever it is, and then you can tell the children to do whatever else, or...
That's right, you're finished with that activity. And they can leave you if they don't like you.
The session.
That's right, you may end the session. And the parents have to understand that some sessions may run an hour, and some sessions may run 20 minutes. If there's an assignment, so to speak. And when the child finishes the assignment, the lesson's over. So the reward is stress reduction. What we know about normal eating behaviors are when, first of all, you associate a food that's liked with a food that's not liked to get the child to eat. The food that's liked, the intake is reduced. So you ruin it for both foods. It doesn't make it. The second is that, that if you give a reward for a non-preferred food, or for, in this case, for a break in resistant behaviors, the reward loses its power after a very short time. It doesn't get you. So if you give a reward, so let's say you give a toy to play with, or you clap to get somebody to do something that they're reluctant to do, that reward will work for a while, but after a while it loses its effect. And I mean, we know that, I think most of us have run into that. You use a toy to get somebody to do it. Initially they love the toy, they'll do it. Then they could care less. The toy's not worth it.
Mm-hmm. You run out of toys.
You do. You run out of toys. Yeah. And it doesn't work. The true issue here is there's a challenge. You've got to meet that challenge. When you meet that challenge, which is stress, there's stress reduction. That's the true reward.
So you're using a behavioral approach, basically, for feeding.
It's basic learning theory.
Okay, but this would be very different from someone that had a true sensory...
Absolutely very different. Yeah, but in the case of a dyspraxic,
right.
If that's what this child is, what they have to do is persist in task repetition to learn the task. And therein lies your ultimate sensory integration. That here's this complex sensory array, make sense of it, and come out with an organized motor output. And if they won't stick to task, no matter what preliminary work you do, you're not going to get the task repetitions that are going to get them to learn. It just takes them more task repetitions. It's more effort. They're going to make more errors. And if they're not going to stick to task, they're going to have very slow progress. So that's the problem. That's always been the dilemma.
Right.
If you have a dyspraxic who's compliant, it's no problem. They'll work at it. A kid that really loves to tackle challenging tasks, that will keep at it. But if these kinds of kids, are just not getting the task repetitions to go anywhere. Now, in this case, let's just take this case one step further. There's something a little more puzzling about this youngster, and that is that she's failing to thrive. So you need to look a step or two further in this kind of child. There are eating problems that develop around parenting issues. And I'm not saying that this is the case here, but I'm saying that when you see a child like this, with this degree of competency, this degree of organizational ability, certainly not normal, it's not, and you see this sort of issue that when for separation, you see marked reductions in intake and then they don't pick up again. You really wonder if there aren't some other emotional issues that relate to this problem. And I don't, yeah.
But would a child that has sensory integration or motor learning problems respond to their world being upset?
They would more than another child.
It's not my bed, it's not this, it's not, what I'm used to, the routine, therefore my planning isn't gonna be as...
Yes, you can accept that, but usually when the world is set right again, they will come back. And it may be that the parent is not a good trainer, that she's a wonderful nurturer, but not a good trainer.
No, we saw that on the film.
That's right.
But, because Leia's been in the house doing this routine now quite consistently, and as I was filming, I had to ask the mom, because she didn't give any, she just, okay, there.
That's right. And claps when the kid does any level of compliance, no quality of task, no ignores. The other thing about learning theory is if you ignore the things you want to extinguish, they don't get extinguished. That's not the way. Ignoring non-desired behaviors perpetuates them. So, I mean, that's what we know from normal learning studies. So,
Can you elaborate on that?
yeah, if you've got a kid that throws toys and you don't pay any attention, you're going to have a kid that keeps throwing. If you have a kid that throws food and you don't pay any attention, you're going to have a kid that keeps throwing food. So it's not, non-desired behaviors. If you have a kid that tantrums and you ignore the tantrums, you're going to have a kid that keeps tantrums.
Because the non-desired behavior is intrinsically reinforced into the child in the past.
Well, it's just that it's not, that you modify your behaviors as a result of consequence. And there are no consequences.
So how do you deal with them? No.
You have to develop a consequence. You say no. I mean, okay, aside from saying no, for instance, one of the ways that you deal with tantruming kids is you hold them and you don't let them tantrum. If they're going to throw things, if they're going to bang their head.
She's not tantruming, she's just...
So she's just throwing. When you see her go to pick it up and throw, you say, no, you don't.
And then you take it away from her hands so that she doesn't have the opportunity.
No, you want to leave it there. But if she, and then when she goes to do it, no, you don't want to take away the situation that makes it possible. You want to leave that situation in place, but restrain the behavior.
And then you let go and the kid goes, and he throws it.
That's because you're too slow.
Yeah.
Not because they're too fast, because you're too slow.
Well, but you tell them already.
Yes, but you're going to hold them again.
So you're going to keep that, you're not letting this go.
That's right, and you're not going to let it go until you've got compliance for the amount of time that you want that compliance for. Maybe you've set the rule that it's got to be 60 seconds. Or maybe you've set the rule that it's got to be 30 seconds at the start. But you're going to say, okay, 30 seconds, buddy. And then they can get out of the chair. That's the end of the lesson.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, yeah.